Hello friends, I'm Kayla and I just had a stupid video idea. Stick with me and we'll figure out if it works, if it's good, if it's not good. I think I do this thing when I have too many plans and my TBR is so organized and specific. Something in my brain goes, don't do it. Choose violence. You don't want to read any of those. Read something crazy. Do something stupid. So here's what popped into my head. I open up Goodreads. The first 5-star review I see, I pick that book. I read that book. And then I also read the first 1-star review I see. It's good, right? Like, it's a bad idea, but it's a good idea, right? And now I won't be able to get this video idea out of my head. It's just gonna be back here being like, do it, open it. Oh my God, look, see what's there. I need to open Goodreads. Even if I'm not gonna fulfill this video today, I need to look. I need to see what's gonna pop up, what could be on this potential TBR. The caveat I would give myself is that I am allowed to DNF, but I can't skip. I can't take a pass. I can't be like, oh, that 1-star, I don't want to read that. I'm not even gonna try. Like, I have to at least try. And then if it sucks real bad, which it probably will, I can pick another, but I have to keep going until I actually finish a book. I mean, the 5-star, that one's gonna be exciting. Something, I'm gonna scroll, I'm gonna see my friend's 5-star review for a book, and it's gonna convince me immediately to read it. Like, that just sounds like so much fun, but I can't have too much fun. We also have to have the opposite going down. Okay, let's do it. Let's see what happens. Ready? Okay. The first thing I see is a 4-star review from Paige. I'm gonna keep going. Another 3-star, a 3-star. Okay, I would have been happy to read this one, Our Infinite Fates. I just saw this pop up as an option on Book of the Month. I didn't select it. I wanted to wait to see what other people thought. And here's what someone thinks. Horror movie, I've already read. I mean, she didn't give it a 5-star anyway. A 3-star, a 3-star. Oh, a DNF of Hungerstone. That's disappointing. I would have liked to read that one. The Unworthy, I would have loved to be able to pick. That was a 4 for Julie. Okay, Catching Fire, I've already read. Are all of my friends in a slump right now as well? Oh, Mrs. Death, a 2. I mean, that checks out. Okay. I actually wonder if it'll take me a long time to find a 1-star. Maybe that doesn't pop up as often as I imagine. Gothic Canna. Okay, this person DNF'd it, but gave it 1-star. Enjoyed the beginning of this. There was no mystery. There was mystery in an interesting world. I think once I started to understand the plot more, the book was losing my interest. Basically, once the male lead character all of a sudden is too predictable and infatuated by the female lead, blah, blah, blah. Sorry, not blah, 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 Grace. Important review, but the review doesn't matter. You gave it a 1, so I have to read it. I have definitely heard of Gothic Canna. I think it came out a long enough time ago that I don't remember what it is or what it's about. I like Gothic books. I don't have this on my TBR. I feel like it's a romance and maybe it's fan fiction based on the author's name. I feel like this is fan fiction of something that I probably like have never read or watched, so I can go into it not knowing anything. Except my only thing going into this is it's a 1-star. That's the only thing I know. That's the only thing I'm thinking. Okay, we found our 1-star. I found a 1 before a 5. That is indicative of climate of reading right now. People are struggling. We've got a 4, a 3, a 4. Oh shoot. I want to read this soon. Maybe by the time you're seeing this, I will have already read this one. This would have been great to see as a 5. One day everyone will have always been against this. I'm getting a lot of ads. Since when does Goodreads so full of ads? I'm gonna like cut all of those out. No free promotion for them. Black Beauty. Okay, Black Beauty I have read. I don't have it marked as read on here, but I have read it. Just know that. I see this as a 5-star from Siobhan, but I don't actually have to read that one. Shady Hollow. I almost bought that the other day. Oh, okay. Oh, wait. First time caller. It says it's a 5, but this person rounded up. It's a 4.5. I don't think I can choose that. I have to go based off of the actual rating, right? Oh, that one's on my radar. Okay. We're getting closer. Private Rights was only a 2. Oh no, I could reread Bunny. Honeysuckle and Bone. I've been interested by that. Oh, it's only a 3. I've read It's Elementary. King Baby? What do you mean King Baby? Ivy? What's happening? Did I unintentionally read this book while scrolling Reels and stumbling across one that read it out in its entirety while it was 3 a.m. and I couldn't sleep? Okay, so Ivy didn't physically read this one, but experienced an audio telling of it. What are you talking about? That's a children's book, right? Okay, I mean, I'll reserve her from the library, but I should keep going? Can we all agree I should keep going? King Baby. 3,000 other people loved it. What if I never find a 5-star again? Well, there are 5 stars, but I've already read them. Oh, more thoughts from Ivy. Oh, oh my God, Wild Dark Shore. Mackenzie, this is an official 5, right? You don't clarify anywhere that it's not a 5. This is hands down my favorite book of 2025 so far. Now I know it's only February, but I have already read 33 books. I believe this will be in my top 10, possibly even top 5 of the year. Oh my gosh, I don't have Wild Dark Shore yet. I ordered it from Book of the Month, and I don't think they've even shipped my box yet. Okay, I can read Gothicana, is that what it's called? And then whether I finish it or not, I mean, maybe I'll pick something else. So we'll do that in the next couple weeks. And then once Wild Dark Shore comes, I don't have any content planned for that to fit into. I do want to read it so bad, and I put it on my spring TBR, just assuming I would read it. And then honestly, it was one of those things that I was like, this will be a good book at the end of March to include in my wrap up of the month of things that I haven't already vlogged. It was gonna be one of those ones on the side, but now I am vlogging it. I'm so excited. Okay, I'll see you when I get the first book. Oh, and King Baby, right? I can't forget about King Baby. The time has come to read my books. I have the 5-star. This is so much bigger than I thought. I stopped at the library and, well, I reserved them from the library and I just picked them up. They were both available, so I don't know what that says about them. This is about a baby, King Baby. I'm gonna save this with the expectation that this is gonna be not for me, and I'm gonna need something to end it with that's fun. I don't want to go into this with any expectations. The fact that like, I don't think I've heard anybody ever talk about it. No one's ever mentioned it to me. Not that I'm probably the target demographic anyway. I can't believe I haven't even read like the synopsis, and I'm just gonna read this book. And you're gonna read it with me. I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna give you my first impressions of the first couple chapters. Oh gosh, I just read the first line. Okay, wait. The synopsis begins: an unusual girl, an enigmatic man, an ancient castle. What could go wrong? Oh, it's from Tor. I mean, that's promising, right? Okay, came out in 2021. Do I want to read the author's note? Sure. Let me know what triggering things are to come. Explicit sexual content, 18 plus. Scenes of suicide, murder, and death, mentions mental illness and neglectful parenting, mentions sexual assault, and mentions human sacrifice. There's also a mysterious, morally gray hero who will frustrate you to no end because his point of view is sparse. And my intent is for you to feel the same as the protagonist does toward him. Confused, frustrated, suspicious, and lustful. Sure. There and more. Okay, good. There's a thing from Edgar Allan Poe I was gonna say. Are we talking about Nevermore? Ooh, there's a map. Why is the font so big? That's not nice. The very first line is there was nothing scarier than a blind old woman. Okay, disagree. That's disrespectful. What the fuck? Okay, so it opens up with meeting this guy named Vad. As a child, he's taken from this like house for boys to this castle, and I think that he's been there ever since. I think it's like Beauty and the Beast. Like he's this beast who's been in this castle all along, and someone warns him or tells him to look out for somebody with purple eyes. And then we meet a girl named Corvina who has purple eyes, and she gets invited to this university, the castle, but it doesn't give any like information about, it's just like, come, you can study here, because she's 21 and she has been homeschooled and then just like never did anything else. She's been in, I think, a mental institution, and she gets invited to this university, but it doesn't say anything about like what she's going to be studying or what career she'd be looking for. It's just like, you will have access to exclusive circles going forward. So I guess I'm wondering if is this like, is she magic? Is it a school for magic and that's just like implied and I'm supposed to already understand that? But he was 7 when he went to this castle, and then she just accepts the invitation. Like she knows nothing about this university, and suddenly she's in a cab driving there. Like we get no setup. I've said before, my favorite thing about Gothic books is the getting there, the introduction, the like slow doing it, but she's already there. She's already met a roommate, and the roommate apparently like ran away before, but now she's back. Why do you need to run away from a university? The school's been around for 150 years, but this guy's been here, Thad, has been there for like 10 to, well, I guess we don't know how old he is, 10 to 20 years, but it's a university? Am I stupid? What? Why are we talking about her underwear? Okay, sorry. I'm 25 pages in. This writing is horrendous. Oh, it's so bad. And then randomly she's like, she pulls her, they're talking about the death of a student, and she pulls out a drawer for her underwear. Not that she liked wearing it. Bras and Corvina were not friends. Having grown up the way she had, all alone with just her mother for company, bras had seemed necessary only once in a while. Panties she wore every day except when she just didn't want to. Like, what are you talking about? And then the next line's about suicide. This seems so much more like a boarding school than a university. He's her teacher? The word Corvina apparently means raven. And then she goes into class and introduces herself to the teacher, and her name is Corvina Clem. And they go, oh, that means raven. And Clem, your mom liked Edgar Allan Poe. Pretty sure she didn't choose her last name. Like, what do you mean? Wouldn't the question be like, are you related? Like, do you have any association with Clem? He just assumed your parents like Poe because her last name is the name of Edgar Allan Poe's, the maiden name of Edgar Allan Poe's wife, who's also like, wasn't that his like cousin? Also, wasn't she like a child? Like, are you trying to subtly tell me that these relationship dynamics are gonna be okay? He's like a student and a teacher at the same time. So I'm supposed to not have an issue that this is a student-teacher relationship. How many pages until I stop reading? Put your guess down below. Here's the problem. It's a really fast read. There's not a lot going on. I'm already at page 50 and like I could finish this just sitting here. So should I is the question. I've read the word molecules in 3 different places where that was not the best word to use. She just like meets him in the woods and asks if she's scared. Part of her wanted to break the eye contact and blush furiously at the singular masculine attention from a very masculine male. Right, let's get the thesaurus out. I thought by the book making him the professor but also a student at the same time, because he's there to like do some work, it was like brushing past the fact that it's a student-teacher relationship, but no. He's like, that's not a look you give your teacher, little crow. And she's like, that's not a name you call your student. And she goes, how am I looking at you? And he says, like you're inviting me to play. You're joking. How is that not in the author's note? Oh, I guess it's in the synopsis. A part-time professor. There's this ball that happens every like 5 years and a bunch of people die during it, and it just so happens that the year Corvina joins the school, it's time for the black ball. She's fucking her teacher, she's fucking her teacher, she's fucking her teacher. 80 pages, that's where I made it to. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. That writing was abysmal. I might skim it. I wanna know like if there is magic. I wanna know what happens at the black ball. I think this is questionably about schizophrenia. Oh no, I don't actually care. Oh, I thought I cared. I didn't care. Never mind. King baby. You better not let me down with this one. What is it about? Is this baby actually a king? I am king baby. A tyrant? Oh my god. Some little child ripped this page out and they had to tape it back together. Oh, he's learning to crawl. What? Oh, that wasn't good. I mean, okay, it's a children's book. It didn't need to have some great moral lesson. Who's this for? Because at the end, he has a little, spoilers, baby sister. If you were to read this to your, you know, preschool age kid and be like, this was, what am I trying to do? Am I trying to review this book? I'm in my 30s. Maybe if Liam was like a preschooler and I was pregnant, I could be like, this, remember when you were a baby and you learned to crawl? Your little sister is gonna do all those same things. But like, it's not, that's not the story it is. It's just him like being an angry little baby. Anyway, what am I doing with my day? Ooh, actually, this is fun because I'm gonna pick another book. I'm gonna pick another 1 star because I'm not finishing Gothicana. You can't make me, I can't make myself. So that's fun, we get to open Goodreads again. We'll see if there's any brand new 5-star reviews. If there is, it might be like, oh no, wait, I'm looking for 1 star. Right, King Baby was the 5-star. And Wild Dark Shore is the 5-star. So these don't count. Today was a wash, forget these. I have to find a 1 star. Oh, Ivy's at the top of my feed. Ivy's really reading a lot. Interesting. Ah, there's a 5-star for One Day Everyone Will Always Been Against This. What the heck? That's what I was looking for. Okay, and now we're back at the books that I saw the first time I filmed this. So I need to scroll past where I ended last time. Okay, I've gotten there. Here we go. 3-star, 3-star, 2-star. Oh, there's my one. Wait, 1-star romance? And it got a 1 star from Rachel? Truly a 1-star read. Is that just like a bad omen to call your book 1 star or something? And then it gets a 1 star? This is, I wanna say vaguely familiar to me, Laura Hankin. I think I've seen one of my friends read this maybe. It has an average 3.6, so that's not too bad. Again, I don't wanna know anything. I don't wanna read the synopsis. On the cover, we have a woman who, it looks like she's writing a book, and then he has a book with her on the back of it. So I guess she wrote a book and she's reading it and then they're gonna fall in love, but their romance is a 1-star romance, or the romance in her book is a 1-star romance. Who knows, but I will update you when I get my hands on it. Good morning. Today is a good day to go to the library, I think. Back to the library. I have a meeting downtown, so while I'm there, I'll stop at the big library because they have 1-star romance, which I did start, and I think I really like. Though, I don't think it's a romance. And I just think the title is doing the book a disservice, like pitching it as a romance, just because the two people, I think, like you go into it, you know, I'm expecting them to be together in the end, but I'm like halfway through maybe, and they're definitely not even like slightly romantically involved. We've got Natalie and we've got Rob, and there has been time jumps already, and it's not like this yearning between these two people who like you see would be perfect together and they're just waiting for like their perfect time to be together. You expect it to be like when they first meet, one of them is really attracted to the other, and then it's just not the perfect situation because like one is in a relationship, and like yes, that is true. But when you go to the next timeline, it's not like the other one is then interested and it's just not the right time and it doesn't align. It's just like they never even really seem that interested in each other. It's more like we're just following two people who happen to be in each other's orbit. I just got this new brow pencil and I feel like I'm gonna look real bad. They each, oh my God. Oh no. They each have like a friend and their friends are getting married and therefore they're constantly interacting. So like it opens with their friend's wedding and they're each involved in the wedding because they're like the best friends and they don't really get off on the right foot. Sorry, I do need to interrupt myself briefly because it's a couple hours later at this point and now I finished the book and I realized that the thing that I talked about is a spoiler. The way I introduced the book is a spoiler. So I'm just gonna re-explain briefly the plot of the book. So we have Rob and Natalie and they have nothing in common. They're very different. She's an author. He's a rigid academic, it says. Their best friends are getting married to each other and right before the ceremony, she gets a 1-star review on her book that she just released. And she reads it and basically is able to ascertain that Rob is the one who wrote it. And I can't explain why or why he wrote the 1-star review because that is something that you're supposed to find out on your own. Apparently, it's not in the synopsis. And throughout the years, they have to keep interacting. They keep coming together in various ways. And each of them is like almost always in a relationship and has their own stuff going on. Obviously we are, because it's a romance, waiting for them to be together, but it doesn't feel that way. It just feels like we're visiting these two people and we see them in other relationships and the other relationships are great. And we're like getting to know the partners too. Like, it's not just like, oh, I'm in a relationship, I'm not gonna talk about this guy. Like, we're fully getting into both of their individual separate lives. And it does feel like one of those books that I am gonna have to wait until like the last page that they decide to be together. And we're not gonna actually see them together. I'm making it sound like I don't like this book. I actually really like this book. The first quarter completely hooked me. I was really into this story. I like their back and forth. It's like banter, but they also, it's not, I don't know, it started out feeling like fun banter. And then it was like, no, they actually just are not the best for each other to even be interacting with each other. Like, their dynamic's not fun. And now that I'm halfway through, I just think it's such an interesting way to build a relationship. And it feels really authentic. Like, for a lot of people, when you meet your partner for the first time, it is like fireworks and it's butterflies and it's like this incredible experience and you just know right off the bat that you're supposed to be with this person. And for some people, it is somebody who's just like a random person in your life who you don't always get along with, and then one day it just like happens to work out. You change so much as people. And that's what I'm anticipating with these huge jumps in time. Not huge, but like a year or two at a time. But the point of the book is to let me see them grow individually and see why they're gonna be so good together by the end. So I got my book. You'll notice I parked on the street and not in the parking. I got some comments last time asking what it like, or being unfamiliar with the word parkade. I guess in the States, you call them parking garages. When I hear parking garage, I think of like a private place, like your own garage at home. Or if you're like at a hotel and you're paying for like access to their private parking, they have to open up the gate for you. I may have not been smart enough to remember that I had a roof rack the first time I went through the parkade entryway, but I am smart enough to not do it a second time. I did scratch it up quite a bit. If you didn't see my Instagram stories, I think I still have a picture. I'm now done everything I needed to do today. So I need to go groceries at some point. But before that, I think I will go to the Apple Bowl and walk the track. My cold is almost gone, I can feel it. And I've just been doing literally nothing for like a week and a half. I've been sitting around a lot. And yesterday I went and played tennis with Liam. And I had like an hour-long coughing fit afterwards. So that vigorous type of activity, probably not for me, but a nice walk is a good idea. And even though I just got the physical version of this, I think I'll continue the audiobook while I'm walking. And we'll see how much further I get into it. If I continue to really like it, right now it like feels like a 4. The setup is a 4. I think the follow-through, it could disappoint me, but it could still be a 4 by the end. I'm here. There are so many people out on the track, and by that I mean like 10. So you can't come with me. It's packed. Sorry, can't have another couple thousand of you out there. I hope this book really sticks the landing. I'm banking on it. wasn't too cold. My cheeks are a little cold, but I felt good. There's somebody like running a marathon out there. He's switching his shoes every couple laps. And I actually feel like having people out there is more encouraging because he's like passing me over and over again and I'm like, I'm coming. Anyway, I didn't finish my book, but I'm close. Such a strange book to pitch as a romance because there's like literally a perspective in the book written by a character who's the love interest of the love interest. Like, it's so interesting. Okay, I have now finished the book. I'm giving it a 3.5. It was a pretty average, like even if it's not a romance and I was looking for romance, because this is just a general fiction, I read things like that all the time, where two people do happen to be together in the end, it's still a 3.5. It's not about going into it with certain expectations. I think this book, even though it didn't want to be deeply romantic, it lacked it lacked passion, it lacked enthusiasm. And I think that this tone is something that a lot of people can like, and like even I like sometimes. I don't know, just in this context, I didn't. I wanted to because I think it is representative of the current, I don't know, climate, the world view for a lot of people, where you're just feeling kind of like about everything, you know? You're not super passionate about your job or your friends or your dating life. Everything is just like, life is just happening. But I think because so many people feel like that in day-to-day life, we're looking for books that have passion, that have enthusiasm, that have excitement. These characters don't have that. They don't feel that towards like their relationships, towards their careers. They're just kind of like going through the steps of life. And it's not supposed to be in a melancholy or apathetic way. Like, you're not reading these characters thinking the author is trying to write them like they have no direction. They just happen to not speak or act in a way where they have a lot of passion. Even towards each other, there's really not a lot of passion. But the way they kicked off, I felt it. I felt like they could have really good banter. It could be really fun. It was never fun. It was never funny. This is definitely not a rom-com. I think they both grew and learned for sure. But by the end, they were just like together. I didn't feel much towards it. And it's another book that pitched itself as a romantic comedy. It's absolutely not a comedy. Do not go into it thinking that. Somebody who blurbed this said it's laugh out loud funny. That is so strange to me. I guess like in the beginning, okay. In the beginning, it feels like it could go in a direction that's a little bit wacky. That's a little like, oh my God, the tension between these two is like so silly and so crazy. But I don't know, mostly you're following characters like in their 30s who are pretty established. They get more established in their careers and they have different relationships with their, you know, families and friends and jobs, and we explore all of that. And I did feel like they were really vivid characters and I liked following their journey. The writing of this was good, but I do understand someone giving it 1 star. I also understand some people who could give, I could see 4 stars. I could see you giving this a 4 if you're okay with really unlikable characters and following like messy dynamics, and there's like cheating introduced in here. There's illness as well, dealing with some really difficult topics actually. Yeah, the more I think about it, the more strange I think it is how people are describing it. Anyway, I'm glad I didn't hate it, and I think that's all I have to say. I think actually my book of the month package might be coming in the mail today, and perhaps I will start Wild Dark Shore tonight. My book of the month did end up arriving, so let's open her up. I can't remember the second book I ordered. I'm pretty sure I got 2 things.
You got 2 things?
Rob has arrived. You ready?
Let me guess. Is it a book?
Yes.
Liquid.
Oh yeah.
A love story.
Thank you. And
Is that Post-it notes? It's right up your alley.
is it?
Looks like Post-it notes.
And
oh no, it's a spreadsheet. Even more up your alley. Wild Dark Shore, a novel.
which one do you think I'll like more?
That one because it's a spreadsheet. And your favorite color. That pays, and you love hearts. So.
I literally, if I turn on the computer right now, you'll see Google Sheets open.
I might actually look exactly like that.
I'm very excited to read this, but I'm more excited to read this.
Wow.
Because I love Charlotte McConaughey. Is there anything underneath? I don't think Book of the Month does anything. exciting under here. This is the one about a man and his 3 children who are caretakers on an island, and a woman washes ashore. They have recently, I think recently, lost their mother, and I don't know if this woman is gonna like become part of their family, or she's an op, or she's imaginary. Like I don't know anything going on, but I know it's going to be beautiful with its atmosphere and nature vibes, because that is what Charlotte McConaughey does so well. All right, let's talk about Wild Dark Shore. I started this last night. I didn't get too far into it because Liam also had his last hockey practice of the entire season, which is just so, I don't know, bittersweet. Maybe just bitter, actually. Maybe just bitter. It was his final year of U15, which means next year he's in U18, which is 3 years worth of kids, when every other year is 2. So it's a lot more competitive. There's a lot more teams next year. So he's not going to end up definitely not on like the top tier team. It's also like they're combining a bunch of cities. And so depending on what team he's on, we might have to travel like an hour almost every day or every other day or a couple times a week, whatever, just to play hockey, which seems really crazy. And because there's also so many teams and he has like friends on all of them, it's like he's not going to be with a bunch of friends, and that's kind of sad because there's just so many options and so many years that are being covered. So anyway, he had his last practice and it was just a scrimmage and it was nice to watch, and then I didn't feel like reading when I got home, but I read a little bit this morning. I read a little bit yesterday. I just filmed my book haul for the month. I'm surrounded by books and now I have to put them all back on the shelves that I stole them from. And I don't really have much going on today besides like filming, editing, and reading this, so I can fully get into it. I think I just am not ready for it to be over, even though I'm only a third of the way into it, because I do feel like this is definitely a contender to be a 5-star. I just don't want it to be over. So we've met everybody in the story. It's a very character-driven novel. It is like cli-fi. It's about climate change. It's like all of her books seem like they're slightly in the future. The world is in a really disastrous situation, but it's not about that. It's about kind of grappling with the life that you lived, the life that you want to have. But also just this melancholy idea of everybody's existence, you know, slowly coming to an end and seeing that creeping towards you and just like trying to continue to exist. My battery's about to die. Okay, battery's changed. I need to get off the floor anyway. When I sit on the floor too long, it can mess up my back. We have met all of the, there's 5 people in the story, and I think that's going to be the entire time. We have Dominic, who is the father of this family, and he works for this like company who stores seeds. There's like this bank. I feel stupid because it sounds like it's just plants because it's seeds, but I also feel like it's animals, and maybe I'm stupid. We have Ollie's chapters, and Ollie is really passionate about, Ollie's the youngest, I think he was 8. He's really passionate about, well, in his chapters, sorry, my brain is all over the place. In his chapters, we're purely reading about like a plant. Like he'll talk about the common dandelion and like what it means to the planet and how it's like resilient and how it needs to be protected. And then those informative chapters come very briefly in between the other characters' perspectives. We have Fen, who is the one daughter in the family. Dominic has 3 children. There's the youngest boy, there's Fen, who's the daughter, and then the oldest boy we're hearing the least from, Raph. We know he experienced some heartbreak somehow. So there were a bunch of researchers on this island in Antarctica, near Antarctica, and the water levels are rising and the researchers have all left. And Dominic is there to protect like the final like seeds. And with his family, they all just live there. And so they're very isolated. They're like, they're a close-knit family, but only because of circumstance. They're all very different. Fen likes to spend her days like sleeping by the water with the remaining animals. She like almost feels like a seal and is one with the seals. I think all of them at different points have felt like they wanted to leave. They want to be back in the real world. They've had moments where they leave the island, but they don't know how long like this life is going to last here, and they feel like they don't belong in the real world, and this is kind of all they've known. And Raph has obviously had this connection with somebody else who was on the island and now no longer does. So they're all grappling with like their interpersonal stuff. Their mother has died and they're all grieving that kind of differently and judging each other for how they're grieving her. And then this woman washes ashore. Rowan, who's the woman, isn't telling the whole truth about why she set out for Shearwater. That's the island. So she was on her way to come there anyway. And then her boat, you know, capsizes and they have to save her. And then the story kicks off because Dominic and her are at odds because they're both keeping a secret from each other. And we kind of know what both of those things are when we initially meet each character. But it's really well plotted how slowly we get information. But then I think a lot of it is just going to be the way that Rowan impacts this family and maybe the way that she becomes a part of it, but I think more so how she brings them a purpose beyond what they're doing or gets to know each of them individually, and they feel encouraged that they can have a life off of this island because that time is coming to an end. So from this point on, like 120 pages in, I won't spoil any plot points, but just how the book is making me feel because it already is it feels heavy. So I'll check in with you after maybe another third. This is so good. Oh, it's so good. But here's the thing. It's slow. It's mundane. I think this is Charlotte McConaughey's best book. However, if you didn't already like her other two, let me find them. This one and this one. If you weren't already sold on Charlotte McConaughey from these two, sorry, I kicked you. I don't think this is gonna like change your mind, but if you loved these, you're gonna love this too for sure. There is like this little bit of mystery in all of her books, but not so much so that it feels like it's a mystery novel, but there's always something that you're wondering about. Like this woman is chasing these birds. She wants to get on this boat and she wants to follow the birds to through their migration. But you also know that a crime occurred at some point and there has to be another motivation beyond just the birds. And then in Once There Were Wolves, this woman and her sister moved to this town to reintroduce the wolves to nature, and you know something happened to her sister. And even if you can figure out like what is happening, like it doesn't matter because it's not a mystery book where you feel like the book is then ruined if you figure out the one thing that you're wondering throughout the entire book. She just so well builds her characters and history and just existence in a way that the mystery and there's like this suspenseful feeling that makes it such a good read, but isn't the only thing or isn't even the most important thing to care about. What with that tension, it just makes everything feel like every conversation feels like it matters so much more because there's something these characters are keeping from each other. And with Rowan, I am 2/3 of the way through now. She has the same thing happen as the other two books in that it's a woman who, being isolated and having this time alone in nature, a moment to like literally touch grass, if you will, gives clarity. And I just love that so much. The ways that she explores all of these women, obviously we have this whole family as well, but a woman grappling with the life that she's living and the life that she should have lived or that she wants to live. It takes being like one with nature and having no other distractions and like putting yourself in such an unfamiliar scenario to really open your eyes to the existence that you have been dealing with. You get a perspective shift once you're really faced with yourself. Working in a science-like field, you're especially confronted with the fact that the world is dying and humanity is dying. How do you choose to go on? How do you go on? This is great. Just the existential pondering is something I will always appreciate, especially if it's written realistically and well. And I don't think this is full of the most beautiful quotes I've ever seen. I'm not tabbing and highlighting very much. It just all feels very genuine. Like these don't feel like characters, they feel like real people. That's also what I'm wondering. What? crazy that just like I haven't felt this way about a book in a minute and I've lost my voice. This hurt me. It hurt me a lot. I'm really glad that I ended this with a 5-star because, you know, the Goodreads user gave it a 5-star, and I don't think this video could have gone any better because the DNF, there was a 1-star. I also DNF'd. So if you didn't want me to actually finish it because it wasn't fair to include, you got that. The actual 1-star I ended up reading, I didn't hate, and I gave like around a 3. So that's successful. And then the 5 ended up being a 5. This had so many, like, I mean, you saw my reaction to things like reveals. It's not like an, oh my God, plot twisty thriller book, but it had so many things that happened in that last like 50 pages that I wasn't expecting to be uncovered. I wasn't expecting the plot to go in that direction, and it's just so heavy, but it's also so beautiful. I've barely talked about the woman in their life, their mother and his wife who died, and the way that they're grieving. And I think like especially the last like chunk of that was so dedicated to her memory, and that just got me so fucked up. The tension really mounting and the increasing layers of emotion that you end up feeling by the end. Anyway, that's the end of my experiment. I'm so glad I did this instead of the vlog that I was planning. I was still working on other things throughout this week, and all the videos that I had planned will eventually come. They're just being pushed back a little bit. And I'm so glad I ended up vlogging this and not just telling you by the end of the month the rating that I gave it in my wrap up, because you wouldn't have really gotten the vibe for like how this hurt me. Oh my God, she's so good at what she does. There's a reason this was a book of the month pick, you know? Okay, thanks for watching. Let me know if you're gonna read anything that I read in this video, or if you wanna, you know, defend Gothic Canna with your life in the comments. Maybe I'll finish it anyway. Okay, bye.